See, hold on. Hold on. Are we coming through live? Oh, we're coming through
We
live.
are live, and you know what that means. What's good, everyone, and welcome to episode 110 of the Playconomics podcast, where we break down the business behind your favorite video games and our favorite video games, and where we provide you just a little and a lot of financial context for industry trends. I'm one of your hosts, Matt Mascara, and joined with me today, as always, it's Bobby Kawicki. What's going on, my guy? How you doing? How you living? What is the news? What is happening in the world of video games?
I'm doing good, man. I appreciate you asking. It was a tumultuous weekend. It was a weekend filled with tumult for the both of us
Tumult. Tumult.
for many a reason. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm not gonna lie, Matt. I'm terrible. Jim Ryan's leaving us. For all intents and
Oh,
purposes, Jim
we're
Ryan's done.
starting with
Okay.
we're
And we'll
starting.
get to
Yep.
and we'll get to Jim in later on in the show. But I have not been able to sleep a wink since I heard the news. How
That
have you
Jim
been?
Ryan is leaving.
Yeah,
Because
that Jim Ryan is leaving.
I want to preface this show that
Hmm.
3 days ago, while I was talking to Bobby, this was a time of enlightenment that Jim Ryan is gone. And he was absolutely destroying this man for a half an hour rant where he said that Jim Ryan is responsible for nothing positive at Sony and that everything Jim Ryan is taking credit for is something that was put into place before he got there. So just keep in
Now,
mind as Bobby
ladies and
as
gentlemen, the viewers
as
of
Bobby
Playconomics. Now, ladies and
as Bobby
gentlemen, does
continues,
that
he
sound
is
like me?
yes.
Ask
That
yourself.
is a
110 episodes
direct
in. Does that sound like me? Does
quote.
that sound like the Bobby you know, that you trust, that you
I
like?
caught I caught
Because it's
Bobby in a
not.
very vulnerable moment and it's
What Matt
really
has
funny.
done is
It's really
created a
funny.
lie. Matt is lying to you. Matt is a scoundrel. He
Listen,
is a swindler. He
maybe.
is a man of ill repute and low moral character. The man
Listen.
watches One Piece.
I still don't. I
Oh,
have
so which
never
one's a lie,
watched
man?
One
Which
Piece.
one's a lie?
That I've
Because
never.
both.
All of the other things I will agree to before I
Pull
have
up your
watched
Netflix
One
history.
Piece. I have never watched One Piece.
Oh, pull up your Netflix history then, huh? I will get Congress to subpoena your Netflix history, and I assure you, the
How do
Feet
you
Pirate Show will be on
how do
there.
you prove what you haven't watched on Netflix?
Well, it'll be in your browsing history. And if you don't think I will, for the sake of a bit, find a way to get your Netflix browsing history,
Just ask Sarah. She'll give
you
it to you.
clearly don't understand the levels at which I'm willing to take a practical joke.
Just do it.
But with that being said, this is the Playconomics podcast. We're here to break down the business behind your favorite video games, give you financial context for industry trends. And our first piece of financial context, Matt, what some might argue, not me, but some argue is the greatest Soulsborne game of all time, has sold 10 million units. And that's Sekiro. This is a little piece of bite-sized financial topics. I just pulled the article from IGN, and they said that since its release in March 2019, which seems like eons ago, March 2019 is not even a real time.
It's not. It's
That
not.
Sekiro has surpassed 10 million. That's half a Spider-Man. That's how I measure my first party and big releases. Even though Sekiro is not first party, but how I measure my big release sales is how many Spider-Mans is it? And that's one half of a Spider-Man.
Why? Just for the sake of conversation, of all of the first party games, why Spider-Man?
Because it's the one that sold the most. 20 million.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. It sold more than 2018 and God of War 2018 and Ragnarok?
Yes. Yeah. It's Spider-Man. It's Spider-Man. Stop it.
I think it's just
Stop
lost
it.
on me because I hate everything to do with Marvel,
Because you don't
so
like things that are good.
the appeal of Spider-Man just is completely lost on me, and I could just never accept that as like a blockbuster game. But listen, a lot of people like it. A lot of people are hyped for it later this month, and I'm excited to see how it does on the PlayStation.
Let's
But
stop changing the
we're
topic.
yeah. We're talking about Sekiro. But what I want to put into context is I have some numbers from
From your
August
document that you
2020.
didn't share because you're too scared to bring up your facts and figures.
No, I actually I just Googled this really quickly. In February of 2023, so 1 year after its release, Elden Ring had already hit 20 million units. So while some people argue that Sekiro is the best Souls-born games, the sales numbers would disagree. I would disagree, and I would say that by far Elden Ring is a superior game. However, I do want to call into context that From Software puts out
Only
fantastic
the
games,
best.
and we have seen an entirely new genre come out of these types of games, and no one does it quite like FromSoft does. We had Wulong Fallen Dynasty, we had Lies of P,
Many pretenders to the
Lies of
throne. I'm
Pi,
not playing Bloodborne Pinocchio. That's not so.
Bloodborne Pinocchio.
That's what it is. It's a tale about Pinocchio, and you're killing the other puppets. I didn't make that up. That's not a bit. I assure you, that's not a bit.
I had no interest in it because as soon as I see something as like Souls-like, it just reminds me of the one time that Scarlet and Violet got called Souls-like. Or no, it was Legends Arceus got called Souls-like, and basically any game that gets that term, I instantly cannot play.
But you've gone on record many times saying that is your favorite Pokemon.
Legends Arceus?
Yeah.
No, it is my least favorite Pokemon. Scarlet and Violet, I think, is the optimal way to play Pokemon if they put all the Pokedex or the Pokemon in it, just because all of the quality of life changes. But I would agree that every game before it was technically better than Scarlet and Violet.
Sekiro.
But we are going to get to Sekiro. I love that this game is still doing numbers.
Despite the fact that you didn't get out of the tutorial.
No, I got out of the tutorial. This is one of the reasons why I like Elden Ring, is that at a certain point in this game, you were just smashing your face into something you are unable to do at that time over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I can't do it. I cannot just keep just face smashing myself into a boss. And in Elden Ring, I was able to go journey somewhere else, do some little side content, fight a boss here or there, get some extra power-ups. And instead of just mindlessly grinding.
Instead of getting good at the task at hand, is what you're saying.
No, because what everyone winds up doing is they wind up doing a Souls grind where they just go into the area, rinse and repeat, kill all the enemies.
It's called becoming a man.
No, that's boring content. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fight the same 7 enemies and then reset the realm again. 7 enemies, reset the realm again. 7 enemies, reset. That's not fun gameplay.
Every Soulsborne boss is beatable at base level in all games.
Of course it is. I'm not good enough.
Okay.
I'm not familiar enough with the game to get good enough. So that's why I enjoy games like Elden Ring better. However, I understand the appeal of Sekiro.
I want Sekiro 2 very badly. I want Bloodborne 2 way worse. I would do Unspeakable.
Which one do you think we see first? Sorry. Which one do you think we see first?
My heart says Bloodborne because that's the outcry. Like, there hasn't been this almost 10-year-long outcry for a Sekiro sequel.
I agree. I don't think they're going to make another console exclusive. And I think that's what's holding it up. I think they would, if Bloodborne was on Xbox and PlayStation, or is it on the computer?
No, it's a good game.
I don't think so. It's just PlayStation right now. If it was on all the other ones, I think we would have gotten the remake already. I don't think From Software has the time or the resources or cares enough to make another console exclusive. I don't think it's worth their time. They put something out like Elden Ring, and I don't think they're looking back from that. They're putting them all on. They're moving forward from the console exclusivity. But I do think in the next 3 years, we start seeing words and we start seeing things from Software about a Sekiro, a new Sekiro, as well as Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, listen, at this point, my life is in a different place than it was when Elden Ring came out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There is no way I can play an Elden Ring. I just do not have the time that is required of an Elden Ring DLC at this point in my life.
Yeah, I think it would depend on how long do you think it would take? If it took me, and I don't think I went very slow, but it took me like 60, 70 hours to get all the way through Elden Ring and down the Elden Beast for the first time. What do you think the DLC is running me? Like 30, 40 hours easy?
Let me look at the best FromSoft DLC ever. The Old Hunters DLC. No, unequivocally, Old Hunters is for Bloodborne is the best FromSoft DLC ever. I played every FromSoft game and I played every DLC.
Hold on. Everyone that is currently in, are you looking at the comments right now?
We have no
Just
comments. I am looking.
just out. No, I'm just curious because
Yes, I
if
am.
so, anyone that is currently watching this video, I'm about to trigger Bobby so hard. So after I finished The Last of Us 2, there was a drought. The Apex boys weren't playing video games, and I was like, what am I gonna play? I finished Last of Us 2 and I finished Final Fantasy 16. So I booted up Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
I did not even get out of the not even the tutorial. The place that it drops you after the first time you die. There was some type of bug in my game where I could not progress, and I just put the game down, and I'll never pick it back up again.
That never happened.
I swear to
I don't
God.
believe you. I don't
I
believe
straight
you.
up
I think you're
I was
lying.
straight up walking around that stupid wooded path after I picked the hook, the saw blade or whatever, and it was either the shotgun or the pistol.
You should pick the
I
shotgun because it helps you parry better. But okay.
I did pick the shotgun and the saw blade. I picked them up. I was walking around. I was looking for something to fight, and I clearly needed to go into a door that was not opening. And I was like, I'm not doing this, and I'm not restarting. This game's over, and put it down.
Matt, you goddamn
That was,
simpleton. Hold on.
I swear to
It's not a
God, that
door.
was my
It's not a
experience.
door.
Okay,
It's the
looks like a door.
gravestones. The gravestones are
Hmm?
the fast travel point.
What do you mean?
You know, there's you if you picked up the saw blade and you
Yeah.
picked up the blunderbuss,
Mhm.
to your right is a
Mhm.
line of gravestones
Mhm.
with the bath messengers coming out of them.
Yep.
Those are the fast travel points.
Okay, so I straight up Googled how to leave this area. Saw all of that. Could not click anything.
Did you talk to the
Nothing
doll?
highlight. I honestly, it was months ago. I do not remember, but I watched a
Months ago, Matt,
tutorial.
this is a fake story. You finished Last of
No, no,
Us
no.
like
It was
2 weeks
it
ago.
was at
This,
no.
ladies
It
and
was
gentlemen, what Matt has done here is waste your
No.
time with lies,
I have not.
deceit.
I had to look up a walkthrough of the first zone of this game, and I did it step by step,
Mhm.
and was stuck.
What's the area
and
called?
there were. I have no idea.
Matt,
There's
I
the
think you're
little
lying to the viewers. I'm
there's
putting you
like
on
the
blast
little
right now.
hands in the ground that tell you how to do the
Mhm.
like each of the new things. You walk around, you're in a loop. It's like grassy with the ground things. It like I tried, and I could not leave the area. I don't know what was wrong with either me or some type of bug I was
If I'm about to
experiencing.
drive to your house, if I can get out of the hunter's dream, your opinion on Soulsborne forever discounted, forever wrong.
Listen, all I'm saying is I tried. I tried my best. It's a bad game.
We've been Soldier of Godric 1, Matt 0. I agree, Liam McGuire. Thank you so much for in the chat.
Listen, Liam. Listen, Liam. I beat the Soldier of Godric.
That's again, why are you lying to me, to Liam, to everybody? But
What's that?
I digress.
Is that 3? Is that Dark Souls 3? No.
I'm not
That's
gonna,
Elden Ring.
I'm
That's
not
the
gonna,
first little
So which one?
Yeah,
which one
whatever.
was it?
Whatever.
The point is,
Elden
you
Ring
asked
was
me about
fantastic.
Elden Ring DLC length, Old
Mhm.
Hunters. It's saying here
Yep.
on how long to beat, 8 hours. Which 8
You
hours
can't play 8 hours
and
of DLC.
3 of the best Soulsborne boss there since. I'm gonna make you on a controversial statement.
Mhm.
FromSoft peaked
Okay.
at the Orphan of Kos boss fight, which is the third and hardest boss in the Elden Ring, in the Bloodborne DLC. It is the single best boss fight of any Soulsborne game.
Liam, let us know in the chat. And
Liam's
also, I
a man
know
of demure in class, so he
is.
Liam
He's
just
a good
spammed
guy.
again. Soldier of Godric 1, Matt 0. So you're just getting slapped around.
I'm getting spammed.
But
by Liam.
let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the episode because we have a lot to cover here. What have you played this week?
So I came on the show last week and said that I started Baldur's Gate and I was like, listen, listen, listen. It's good. It's good. It's clearly not game of the year. People aren't going to be able to get into it. It's a very unique type of game, the CRPG. It's not for everybody. I'm here to personally apologize to every single one of you that I misled. Baldur's Gate 3 is absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it. It is by far the best game that has come out this year. There is no shot that any other game makes it anywhere near winning game of the year this year. And I just said that I don't like when people compare things to Elden Ring, but this game has an Elden Ring like feature. And if you give me a second, I will walk you through the Elden Ring feature. So one of the biggest issues with Soulsborne games are they're not for everyone. Just like I had told you that I had started Sekiro, I was ramming my face into a wall trying to fight a boss, could not do it, gave up, didn't play it. That is how a good amount of people experience Soulsborne games, and they don't want to experience that in their leisure time playing a video game.
Okay.
Elden Ring broke that by allowing you to explore out into the world, and it took a niche product, a Soulsborne game that not everyone can get into, that not everybody liked, and was for a specific clientele. It was a large clientele, but a specific clientele, and made it 100% a mainstream mainstay as one of the greatest games of all time.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate does something similar, not as well. I will still say Elden Ring is a better game than Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate takes a genre of games that is not for everyone. I personally like them. Bobby does not. I think that if you give Baldur's Gate enough time, if you get through the intro piece of it and actually get your team together and start playing the game and exploring the world, it is a fantastic game that everyone will like, similar to the way that everyone loved Elden Ring. And it's going to win game of the year. 100%, 10 out of 10. Just fantastic 2023 game.
Any other lies you want to say about Baldur's Gate?
I will say one more thing. I remain to this day, it is too easy to sleep with the people in Baldur's Gate. They throw it at you at all times.
That's a weird take, Matt.
It is. It's just no. It's just like you're talking to people and you're trying to like go through their storyline because each of the people you pick up has a storyline, and like 3 quests in, they're like, what are you doing around this campfire later tonight? And I'm like, bro, we are trying to save you from a shadow deity, or we're trying to save you from vampire hunters, or we're trying to save you from this devil that you made a deal with and now you're owned by a devil. Like,
Do you think
bro,
that
focus.
the inclusion
Focus.
of tentacle people makes this attractive to that crowd?
The
weirdos.
tentacle. No, because the tentacle people aren't like a playable character or like characters you interact with in that type. Like they're not party members, so it's similar to D&D where they're just like very clearly an enemy, so they don't have that piece. But no, there is no from what I've seen so far, no tentacle hanky panky.
Would you like the game more if there was?
No.
Matt,
No, I wouldn't.
what is the sales numbers for Baldur's Gate at right now? Because I'm looking at it, I'm getting mixed things, and since this is clearly your game,
Let me
the
check.
game of your people,
How are you getting mixed things?
because I'm seeing one number for PC, seeing another number for console.
I'm only seeing old numbers, so we might have to pull this back and I'm seeing a lot of people. I know it broke records as being the number one game in Steam for the last 2 months. It's been a very large amount of concurrent players on Steam. I don't see any concrete numbers, so I'll have to get that and put it on Twitter or something later. But I would be very surprised if this game wasn't selling well.
Yeah,
It's
I have a
fantastic.
feeling you're right. I have a feeling that Bethesda again, man, again. Finally. Listen, I knew they were going to just get absolutely slapped around, showed
Yeah,
up.
you thought it was because of Spider-Man, though.
No, I thought it was going to be Zelda. With the amount of fervor that people were just in the streets, lighting themselves on fire for Tears of the Kingdom. I thought that was it.
Yes.
I thought that this is the one that's going to break the mold. Nope.
The only reason I didn't agree with that take on Zelda was that and it was something that you were preaching very early on with Zelda, is it's more of the same. Like
Correct.
if we had gotten a new Zelda, like a
Mm-hmm.
new type of Zelda in a new area, new art style, similar to the way we do when a console launches, then yes, I think we would be seeing some competition for Game of the Year. But it's Breath of the Wild 2, and everyone
I
knows it.
haven't Two Breath Too Wild. I haven't
Yeah.
played Two Breath Too Wild since that went on vacation to the
Mhm.
Black Site, and I'm probably never gonna pick it up again.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't play that instead of picking up Sea of Stars.
Yeah, I just nope. I'm good. I'm fine.
Um,
I
Speaking of, Sea of Stars is still very good,
Sea of
but
Stars is
Baldur's
still
Gate is.
very good. I agree.
What have you been playing?
Absolutely nothing. I'm on a bit of a
Damn.
juice cleanse until Spider-Man comes out.
That's fair. I don't think I have anything that I'm playing besides Baldur's Gate until next year.
I find that interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very Baldur's Gate heavy because again, like I said, I have no interest in Spider-Man. I'm sure it's a fantastic game. It's really cool. Really happy for people to be able to play it. I don't think there's anything in the lineup coming between now and 2024 that I'm interested in.
Hmm.
Is there anything else you're interested in besides Spider-Man?
No, I was kind of hoping Helldivers would drop, but that's February. Did get priced $40. I like that price for that game.
Yeah. Oh, also, I take it back. The one game that I might play because it's a return to form is Assassin's Creed Mirage, and it's not $70. It's a $60 game. So I think this is Ubisoft trying to get some face and being like, "Listen, we're giving it to you at the old
Guys, we're
price. It's
giving
the
you the
old
bad
game."
game at the old price, huh?
No, I do think this is going to be a really good Assassin's Creed game, and I think it's going to be up there with like 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's going to be after 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I don't imagine this doing well at the box office, as it were.
Oh, I think sales wise, it'll do great. Like, I think it will sell well, it will review well, but it won't play the same way that 1, 2, 3, and 4 did. Like, it won't be one of those, but it'll be better than all of the recent ones we've gotten.
Interesting. You know what's not doing well, man?
Epic Games.
The 16% of Epic Games' workforce that they laid off. So this
Yep.
is pulled a couple articles here. I'm going to go to The Verge first, and there's just kind of a
Mhm.
all-around wrap-up that it is cutting nearly 16% of its workforce, or 830 jobs. That's a lot of people.
It's a good
We've
amount of
been
people.
ringing this bell for a while now. It's gonna get worse before it gets worse.
Hmm.
It's good for the economy or whatever. Elden Ring multiplayer modded. I don't know what that means, Liam, but I'm in the middle of a Biden impression, so if you'll excuse me for a second. It's good for the economy.
Is
Whisper.
that it? Is that Biden?
Yeah,
Is that a Biden
yeah.
impression?
He just whispers and just dementias his way through press conferences that have to do with the U.S. financial system. Not that Jerome Powell is any better, but I digress.
That's fair.
Epic laid off 830 people, which is a considerable amount, but I wanted to pull from the actual letter that CEO Team Sweeney released announcing it.
Hmm.
And the second paragraph here, he writes, "We, for a while now, we've been spending way more than we earn investing in the next evolution of Epic and growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators. I had long been optimistic that we could power through this transition without layoffs, but in retrospect, I was unrealistic. While Fortnite is starting to grow again, the growth is driven primarily by creator content with significant revenue sharing, and this is a lower margin business than we had when Fortnite Battle Royale took off and began funding our expansion. Success with the creator ecosystem is a great achievement, but it means a major structural change to our economics." What I read from this is, hey, we got a real bloated during COVID on the
Yep.
staff, and we're cutting. And Fortnite is not the sales juggernaut that it once was, regardless of how many TikTok superstars we put in there, which is just
Yeah.
egregiously stupid as a marketing campaign. You went from
No,
Goku to the
I love
TikTok
them.
guy
They're fine. They put Nicki Minaj in Call of Duty.
as a
Th-
like this is what happens when you pollute the market with bullshit and people buy into it because they're children with access to money.
Mhm.
Everyone else then has to adapt and everything gets bad for everyone.
Yeah, but you're on the Fortnite like cameo list claiming that it's the new McDonald's toy. Like that is
Yes.
still a good business practice. You're just disagreeing with some of the ones that they choose, and their marketing team would disagree. Like I guarantee you those TikTok ones are worthwhile. The Mr. Beast skin was worthwhile and it was a
See, I
relevant
even
thing to
forgot
add
that
to
he
that
was in
game.
the game. Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Because it doesn't apply to you, but it applies to the people growing up and playing video
They're not
games.
people, they're children. They're
I
half
I
people.
know, but they are the ones spending the most amount of the money.
I think that we are not giving enough credence to the fact that a lot of these companies bloated. Number one.
Mhm.
Number two, we are seeing this downtrend in these cycles. PUBG was number one for a very long time, but it wasn't number one forever. Fortnite,
Yeah.
number one for a very long time. Doesn't seem like it will be number one forever. I think obviously Epic is still an economic juggernaut. The reason I wanted to
Yeah.
highlight this is primarily because it's like, damn, if it's that bad at Epic, where is the next place to batten down the hatches and tighten the belt?
So I read that in a similar vein, but took it the complete opposite way. So we're seeing Epic take some hits, and what I didn't do it as Epic, the people that own Fortnite. It was Epic, the people that own Unreal Engine, and we're seeing a similar downswing, very different reasoning in Unity as we are right now with Unreal Engine's owner Epic Games. So we're seeing the two big kingpins of the video game engine makers taking a hit. And I'm scrolling down a list of the biggest, the top 25 video game engines, and Unity and Unreal Engine are number one and two, respectively. No, flip it. Unreal's one, Unity's number two. What I'm seeing on this list and who I think we're going to see a major move from shortly is that Amazon has Amazon Lumberyard, and it's where they listen. I understand that Amazon's video games have not been fantastic. They've had a lot of crashes and burns. They've put out a lot of content that didn't necessarily get the buzz they wanted. However, if there is somebody that can throw money at an engine until it's profitable and can make it so competitive that people transition in times of turmoil like this, where Unity is struggling, Unreal
But
Engine
I don't
struggling,
get
you're
that.
seeing laid
Unreal
off.
Engine's not struggling. Their adoption rate is through the roof.
No. And listen, I understand, but Epic itself is having struggles.
But they don't list their
So,
engine being the reason for their struggles. I'm just pushing back
I,
so you can get to a
no,
point
no,
that's
no.
firm.
Agreed. So the thing is, yes, Unreal Engine is not the issue at Epic, but Epic is having issues. And if there's someone that can push that and use Epic not being able to invest fully and invest not millions, but tons of money into their engine, and if somebody can outspend them right now and try to make a push to be that premier engine, I'm concerned that it will eventually wind up being Amazon. Do I think it's realistically going to happen anytime soon? No, but I am very, very interested in the video game engine landscape now that we're seeing the issues with Unity. We're seeing that Epic had to pull back some spending, not with their engine platform, but if there was a time to make a push as somebody that makes an engine, I'm here for Amazon to make a push into it. I'm surprised they haven't been pushing this more already.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that's a bold take. Let's see if it pays off.
But and again, I don't think Unreal Engine's going anywhere, but it's just like Epic's taking some losses. Unity took huge losses. There
But
is a
Unity
market to
shot
fill.
themselves in the foot.
Yes, but there's still a market to take from even take Unreal Engine out of it completely. There's a market to take from that. And if there is somebody that's poised to capitalize on it that isn't Unreal Engine, I think it would be Amazon, just because they have the funds to do it and they're kind of in a Microsoft seat where they have the money to just keep pushing until eventually it works. And I think we're gonna see some more things come out of Amazon Lumberyard in the next couple of years.
It's a bold pick, sir.
Listen. I'm here for the bold picks. I'm here for the bold picks. And speaking of bold picks, you got anything else to say about Epic? Because I'm transitioning into it.
Oh, by all means, sir.
Who is your bold pick, Bobby, to replace Jim Ryan? And
Hideo
I'm gonna give you
Kojima.
the floor. I know. I'm gonna give you the floor for 10 minutes. Give me everything you want on Sony, Jim Ryan. Here's your postmortem to Jim Ryan's career.
So here's my postmortem on Jim Ryan's career. I titled this episode "Jim Ryan and the Tale of the Golden Parachute." Why? Because Jim Ryan came in at a high, sustained through a rough time, earned brownie
Mhm,
points possibly on other people's work, but still received the good acclaim for it, and
mhm,
is now jetting out in a very integral time, I would say, to Sony. Right? He's leaving before anything does or doesn't hit the fan. And all of the like we don't know. Think of the wins that Sony has had since the 3 years of the PS5 lifespan. You got
mhm.
Returnal, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm missing Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon Souls. If you want to go third party, even though you're not going to count it, we can do Final Fantasy VII Remake and the new one
I'll
coming.
get that. That is definitely a win for Sony. It
Final
is
Fantasy
like they did.
16,
Yeah, they
right?
did an exclusive deal. They
So
got it.
that being said, we don't know and probably will never know how much of that was shepherded and approved under Sean Layton. We don't know,
Mhm,
right? God of War Ragnarok.
mhm,
My opinion, to the general consumer, to the Madden Call of Duty person,
mhm.
when Horizon came out, when God of War came out, they attributed that success to the guy sitting at the head of the table. And at that time, that was Jim Ryan, right? Despite the fact
Okay.
that these games might very well have been greenlit under Sean Layton. Great. What I will also credit Jim Ryan for is not jumping the gun on an acquisition war when everybody was saying that he should have, right? Let's roll the clock back. We're taping. Let's roll the clock back
Yep.
12 months.
Mhm,
The war criminal known as Phil Spencer buys
mhm.
Activision.
Still has his job.
But Jim Ryan isn't being pushed out. So hold on a sec.
Okay. Okay.
You think he's
Okay.
being pushed out?
Yes.
By who?
I think he's gonna get
The
scapegoated because they don't have anything to do. They don't have anything for 2024. They have nothing substantial for 2024, and Jim Ryan's gonna get scapegoated. And they're gonna be like new vision. And I'm just gonna give you my pick here because it fits here. They're gonna give you the new vision for Sony next year, and it's gonna be all live service games. And you're gonna see Pete Parsons from Bungie take over as CEO of
so
operations,
so
and
so
you're
let's
gonna
touch on
see
that because I'm
complete
giving Jim his
focus. Yeah.
flowers here, and you're
Mhm.
you're you're spouting nonsense.
But no, I just disagree. Like I disagree that he's going out on a like he is going out on a golden parachute the same way that Bobby Kotick is going out on a golden parachute once this ABK deal
No,
goes
I'm
through.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not through scandal.
Bobby Kotick will never get another job in the games industry. Jim Ryan can go work wherever the
Agreed.
hell he wants.
That's fine. That's fine. He's also I guarantee you he's not getting the same type of golden parachute that Bobby Kotick is going to
When
get.
I say, I mean in terms of obviously financially,
Hmm.
reputation wise. I mean, he has been at the company longer than PlayStation has been around. He's been at Sony.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I think he was at I think I think Jim Ryan, when push came to shove, did two things very well. He was a very canny operator in not jumping the gun, choosing a really strategic partner to acquire in Bungie, somebody who
Hmm.
could help bolster their 5-10 year vision, which obviously now includes live service. Okay.
Hmm.
He didn't overspend and start buying a Take Two, Square Enix, even though I'm sure Capcom, even though I'm sure he could have,
Yep.
right? We could have seen this immediate nuclear spending war of just buy, 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 buy. Didn't happen.
Hmm.
He didn't fold Bungie in. He put them alongside. That was a very canny, smart move. Let's see if it pays
And it
off.
cost him his job.
No, you have no idea what you're saying.
I'm just saying he did all those things. He made all those. In my personal opinion, and we'll see what happens when it will eventually come out why he left. This is a package that he received to leave. There's no shot that he woke up today and was like, or a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and was like, no, I'm done. This was a package. You're leaving. Leave gracefully.
Listen, man, heavy lies the crown thing. Because the other thing that I will give Jim Ryan kudos for, two things, is number one, shepherding PlayStation through COVID.
Sure.
Cool. And doing his fiduciary duty to make as much noise, even though it failed, but as a CEO, his responsibilities to the shareholders to make as much noise and try to stop the Activision deal as he could.
Yes.
3
and
wins.
all he did was make noise instead of releasing games.
No, I don't think so.
last year.
I have a very strong feeling that you're going to see some interim people.
So, all right.
Hold on.
So hear me
hold
out.
on.
Hear me
I'm
out.
not-
Hear
no,
me
no,
out.
No, 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 no. Because I'll cancel the podcast right now.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My criticism of Jim Ryan is in that inconsistency of content output. It is in that inability to be forward facing with the consumer, because as much as I meme on Phil Spencer for being a war criminal, you don't see Jim Ryan on podcasts throwing his product under the bus or giving it praise. That is a ground floor, hand-to-hand combat marketing tactic that for people like you works, right? You don't see him in the trenches interfacing with the consumer. You don't see him as a player of games. And on that level, I think he is of fault. And I think that and hope that whoever they pick next is not a creative first, but can at least eloquently speak to the language of games more than just, I'm excited to play the newest, hottest thing.
Yes.
And I also think it should be Hideo Kojima, because Hideo Kojima. Can I just make my case for Hideo?
Yeah, it's not.
It's never going to be Hideo Kojima. But can I tell you why Hideo Kojima would be the perfect Sony CEO?
Because he's the complete opposite of what you just said you hope will be the CEO of Sony.
Hideo Kojima is exactly that. Hideo Kojima is the most canny operator in games. Forget anything creative. Forget the baby in the bottle. He is somebody who worked his way through a company, left at the top, started his own thing where people were coming to him. He got his pick of engine. He is now going to everybody else saying, I think I'll make a game for you. I think I'll make a game for you. He knows what it's like to ship a product, fail a product. He's great on camera. People respect him. Hideo for CEO. It will never happen. In 100, it will never happen. But I'd like to make the case for Hideo Kojima as CEO of Sony.
Sure. It's going to be Pete Parsons. And for all of you who don't know, he's currently the head of Bungie. And you're going to see next year, all Sony's going to line up is live service games and different live service things to float their big budget first party games that you won't see until 2025.
How much you want to bet we get at least 2 first party big budget games next year? And what are you willing to do when that happens?
If you think you're going to get, and this is what I consider big budget, 20 million plus copies.
Well, no, budget has nothing to do with sales. So you're already
no.
confused.
You could make me the biggest budget of all time. If it's not a good game, it's not a good game. And Sony does sales numbers.
Yourself. So we're talking sales, or we're talking numbers sold?
No, numbers sold.
Okay. So you
think they're going to have 215 plus
success at their most successful game ever?
Okay, 15 plus.
I'll split the difference at 12.5.
That's not the difference. The difference was I started with 20.
We're going with 12.5.
Nope. I'll take 15 or less.
All right, move
15 or more.
Wherever this one is getting tiring.
Regardless, what we are going to see next year, and where I think we will see that Jim Ryan was asked to leave very politely. I'm not saying he did a bad job. I'm saying that over the last couple of years, he was dealt a shit hand. and he did the best he could with it, but they need to go in a new direction, and that new direction is outside of their big budget first party games because it's not sustainable, and they need live service games to support it, and he wasn't willing to do that, and they're going to put somebody in charge that is. In 2024, we're not going to see a single, I'll give you one. You're going to see one big budget, huge sales numbers video game that Sony does, and that's it. And that's how you're going to know that Jim Ryan was outed, because they still have not shipped a game come 2025.
What are you willing to do if you're wrong? Because I know you're going to eat your hat on this one.
So what do you think is in the pipeline?
What do I think for fact? Number one, you're going to get Ghost of Tsushima 2 next year. Oh, see, up. Oh,
Hold on, hold on.
Now, it has not been announced.
I'm looking up at sales numbers. And we got, I'm not seeing about nearly sells 10 million. So would not meet my criteria
Bullshit.
or your criteria of 12.5.
I think we go Ghost of Tsushima 2. I wouldn't be surprised if Death Stranding 2 is what closes next year out. I think we go Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding.
I think you get one of those.
Nope.
All right, we'll see. I believe you still have to actually eat a hat.
That never happened. You're a war criminal.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna hold me accountable for things that I say, and I've been accountable for everything I've said on this podcast.
You know when my birthday is. You can get me a cake hat.
No, it's not going to be a cake hat. I said a legitimate hat, and you said a legitimate hat, and you have not even attempted to eat it, even though this deal is all but finalized, and by the end of this month, it will be finalized.
What are you gonna do?
And
if,
you said
at the 10-yard line, it
gets punted.
It just falls apart.
I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be upset. But to bring this back into Sony to close out the show, unless you got other things you want to talk about, Jim Ryan, give him his flowers for things he doesn't deserve. I think we're going to find out next year that Sony is going to underperform in delivering content, which is a big critique all Sony fans have against Xbox. And we're going to see the shift of, it might not be The Last of Us every time, but Microsoft is putting out consistent content over 2024. You're going to see Hellblades coming out. We got a solid lineup. And Sony is not going to be delivering anything, and it's going to be another disappointing year for Sony fans. Even though they have the PlayStation Portal and the VR headset, you're not going to see much out of it. I
completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Do that instead of ship a game. And I think we're going to see a very, very, not bad year, because I still think they're going to do fine. Like Sony and PlayStation are still great products. Yeah, like it's just a good product. But I don't think we're going to see the power year from Sony that PlayStation fans are hoping for, and I think that's what cost Jim Ryan his job.
Come on, Bloodborne 2.
That shit's never gonna happen.
Oh my god, that would catapult Sony into the stratosphere. You know what I'm saying?
That would be one that I would eat my hat on.
People would line up for Bloodborne 2. Like, no,
that would be especially after the Elden Ring boom. Bloodborne 2 would make everyone go absolutely nuts.
Go nuts.
Absolutely.
But if you want to go nuts, as I bring this in for a landing, man, unless you have any other critiques or suggestions, I just saw a great segue there. I'm sorry. I just
you saw a great segue and then absolutely shot it in the foot,
like Phil Spencer did to Redfall when he went on XCast. But
Jim Ryan lost his job. Jim Ryan literally lost his job.
Lose his job. There's a difference.
Lost his job.
If you like what you're hearing, you want to hear more of it. If you like this banter, if you like Matt's lies, if you like
my dog in the background
who's asleep, Matt. Second, so I was gonna say.
Are you gonna say?
If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of it, please leave us a good review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever we consume this podcast content. Leave us a like and a subscribe and a nice comment on Facebook. Find us on Instagram.
Facebook?
And Facebook and YouTube.
YouTube.
You didn't.
YouTube.
I know what I said and I said what I meant. And the elephant's word is 100%. I was getting to YouTube. Peace, love, and happiness.